Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Charity. I do faith-based content and a little more. So today we are going to bake a simple orange cake. We are using all these ingredients you can see here. So let us start. First and foremost, we start with the oranges. We are going to zest the oranges. We are going to use 2 oranges. We are going to lightly zest to avoid the bitterness. So for this cake, I planned it for a breakfast, but I'm in the process of deciding which cake I'm going to bake myself for my birthday. It's around December, so let's see how this orange cake turns out, so that we can, we will try other cakes and see which one is going to be the best. So this is just a simple cake. It is low fat, low sugar, but it was a wonderful cake. When the orange was zest, I put in sugar. This is 3/4 cup of sugar, local sugar that is. I first mix with the spatula, and then I'm going to go in with my hand to make the orange zest become finer, and it makes the orange zest, those oils in the zest, to burst, to become more flavorful. So rubbing the sugar with your hands makes the zest become finer, so that it's not that you don't bite onto it so much on the cake, and it makes the oils in the zest come out, so it's more, the cake becomes more flavorful. So for the next step, we are going to put in our cooking oil. This is 3 tablespoons of cooking oil. I use the normal vegetable oil. 3 tablespoons is the bigger spoon. It's bigger than the normal dessert spoon we use in our homes. It's tablespoons are bigger than dessert spoons. So they are usually teaspoons, dessert spoons, and tablespoons. So tablespoons are the bigger ones. So I used 3 tablespoons of cooking oil. I mixed it in well with the sugar. Then we will set it aside so that we can juice the oranges. I don't have the juicing gadget, so I'm just going to squeeze out the juice. The juice that I squeezed out of the oranges was about 100 ml of orange juice, which I felt was enough for my cake. I used 1.5 orange. My oranges are seedless, so they were less troublesome. I did not have to pick seeds out of the juice after it was squeezed. So we set the juice aside so that we can go on to the next step. So our next step is the eggs. With the eggs, I'm going to beat my egg to crack my eggs. Each egg each egg separately, to avoid, we don't want to break in the egg into the mixture and then upate you get one of the egg is spoiled, you spoil the whole batch. So 1 egg at a time separately, then into the mixture. At this point, I brought out my hand mixer, because when I see that when I beat with my hand, I get a little tired, while beating with the mixture with the mixer incorporates more air and a lot of work is lifted, so I don't have to have a lot of to use my elbow grease for this when I have a mixer. If you don't have a mixer, a balloon whisk and elbow grease will come in handy. So I mixed in until I felt the consistency of my mixture was getting thick. And unlike when you're using butter or margarine, this mixture the for butter is thicker. So we go in with our milk. That was 200 ml of milk. So the milk even makes the mixture even lighter. We add in the orange juice, the freshly squeezed orange juice. I found that zesting the oranges before juicing is better because, as obvious, I think that's obvious. When you juice the orange before you zest, it will be troublesome, it will be quite chaotic. So after I had put in the milk and the juice, I put in my vanilla essence and I put in a little passion essence to, give it just a little different vibe. I set aside the wet mixtures. So now I'm mixing my dry ingredients. The dry ingredients was 2 cups of all-purpose baking flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and a pinch of salt, just a small pinch of salt. Then I mix to make sure that the baking powder, the salt, and the flour is fairly mixed, because I am not a machine. I don't know how to pick these particles to tell you for sure that I mixed completely, but I believe they were fairly mixed. Then I gradually added my flour into the wet ingredients gradually. Hand grease came in handy here, but for this step I don't like mixing with the hand mixer. I find that I overbeat, and overbeating a cake is not encouraged. Overbeating cake makes the air you incorporated when you beat the egg, you incorporate air. But at this point, if you overbeat, you tend to beat out the air you already incorporated. A side note, at this point I have speed up the video. There's no one who can go at this speed with your hands. This video is a little speed up, so I slowly incorporated the flour until I felt that the mixture was well mixed. No lumps were left. It is not too flowy and it is not too pasty. Then took out my sufuria. Don't mind, my sufuria is a little beaten buttered, but are we not all beaten buttered a bit? I oiled the sufuria. I find that using a non-stick sufuria, I find it better for me because not only the oiling help, but the fact that the sufuria is already non-stick helps. You can notice the flow of my cake mixture is ribbony. It flows down like a ribbon. So this is what happens when you finish baking. You have the aftermath to clean. I put my cake in the oven. I only use my oven is a gas oven, so I only use the bottom burner. After 30 minutes, I'm telling you, 30 minutes, exactly 30 minutes, I came back to check on the cake. It was ready. Took it out of the oven. set it aside for a moment. Then I'm going to transfer it onto the plate. That is my cake on a platter. I find this costs